March reading wrap up, let's go. I read 8 books in the month of March, and it was actually a really great reading month for me. I did a lot of listening because I just didn't have time to read a lot of physical books, but hey, you know what? Reading's reading, so I'll take it any way that I can get it. First up, I'm sure everybody and their mother has read this one, or at least heard of it. It's Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. Now, I listened to this one. I would say don't listen to this. It's not appealing to listen to. The narrator is not very good, honestly, and there's a lot of editing issues. Specifically, the last half of the book, you hear a lot of swallowing and mouth noises, and that for me, honestly, it really pulled me out like 10 times at least type thing. But other than that, like, I would read the book, I would read the second book. I'm not going to listen to it. I still want to read it. I'm still interested enough in the story. I really like the magic system. I was like enjoying it, but the narrator and everything just wasn't a great time. Next up, the only physical book I read this month was A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Let me say I had some feelings about this book. I went in hoping that President Snow would have a redemption arc, and I was met with just the most self-serving, unlikable. I am rooting for his demise, and I didn't really want his, like, Chute did a good job making him unlikable. I will say the ending was a little weird. Even with how self-serving he is, it still was a little out of left field, a little unexpected. I feel like it could have gone a different way, but overall, nah. Next, I listened to The Book of Azrael by Amber Nicole. I will say I absolutely loved listening to this. I listened to the graphic audio. It was fantastic. I really had a good time with it. It is a little spicy. There was times where I had to, turn down my volume, but it took a while to get there. There's a lot of plot mixed in with it, and I really enjoyed it for what it is. And I'm definitely looking forward to listening to the next book. The next thing I listened to is What Digs Itself Free by Stony Brooks. This is a paranormal book where our main protagonist is kind of an unlikable character as well, but he does have a bit of a redemption arc, and he is an investigator for the paranormal who ends up being haunted by his past. And I think it started out really strong, really good. Kind of lost me a little bit in the last half of it. But overall, I actually enjoyed listening to it. The audio was pretty well done, and I enjoyed what was happening during the story, and I wanted to listen to it. It was a really quick listen, I think only like 8 hours, so pretty easy to get through. Next up is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. I will say I did enjoy the story more than I enjoyed the audio narration. I did not care for the narration either. The narrator just happened to have the same voice for every single male character, and that made it just really confusing. 3 or 4 different male characters who all just kind of intermix, and I found myself just really getting confused a few times where I had to like rewind it and kind of see who was talking. So I will say I'm really excited for the second book. I think this is a situation where the second book will be better than the first. And the next book I listened to is A House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. Now see, I tried to read this a long time ago, and I will say I've read all of her books, and the Crescent City books have been the hardest for me to get through and I guess absorb and understand. There's so much urban mixed with fantasy, and I think it's just too smart for me, maybe. I found myself just really, really lost. So I listened to it this time, and then I also had to listen to somebody else's breakdown, and that helped a lot. There's a lot going on in the book, but it was just really hard for me to read it. And I really enjoyed, like, the Throne of Glass series is one of my favorite series. I flew through that in all the books, had no problem digesting it and remembering and knowing everything that's happening. And I've read Crescent City, or listened to Crescent City now 3 times. I still can barely tell you what's happening. And House of Sky and Breath, kind of same thing. Like, I understand the gist, but all those nuances and all the layers that she puts in, I'm not smart enough for that, I think. And the very last thing that I read in the month of March is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. She did redeem herself with Haymitch's story. That one was absolutely heartbreaking. I cried a little bit. There were several times where I just went, what the absolute, oh my God, why is President Snow such a D-word, like, why does he have to be so horrible? And so I really, really enjoyed Haymitch's story. I finally have finished all of the Hunger Games books now. I will say I probably won't reread Hunger Games and Mockingjay and all Catching Fire and all that. However, I did have a good time finally getting to these 2 books. And finally, I also listened to A House of Flame and Shadow. Finally. I didn't read it. I only exclusively listened to it, and I will say I think that was a better way to go. There seemed to be so much filler in this book, and it was honestly a massive book that I feel like could have been 200, 300 pages less. Like, there was a lot that happened, but there was so much that didn't happen in between some things that I found myself speeding through the audio. And I know if I was reading, I would have been skipping chapters, and it just seems so back and forth and here and there and here. It just wasn't my favorite, I will say. I'm excited for the new ACOTAR books coming out. I am going to do another reread of The Throne of Glass just to get myself ready. We'll see if I read ACOTAR again. Let me know if you read any of these books this month, or if you're looking forward to reading any of these books, or what was your favorite read. I'd love to know. Let me know down below.